Here we go, looking at the floor pan, left hand side. Last time I showed you, I tacked it all in place. What I've done this morning now is I stitched it all the way through, doing all the plug welds across here as well. Every time you look at it, you'll always find something you're going to go back over. The only thing left to do next is to grind it all back. Not grinding too much off it because that'll take more strength away. This will have like a dynamat come deadening over the whole floor of the car. This guy wants his car to be quiet on the inside as well, so yeah, so we're working it, you know, dynamatting it underneath using like a Schutz. Yeah, I'll find little spots I've got to fix up too. There's little bits and pieces. They're all stitched around those holes at the front where the steering column comes through. This one's got a clutch cable because it's a manual 65 Mustang. So then down along the side here in the gaps, down along here, the old seam sealer once again. We'll get the caulking gun version, not the brushable stuff we've been using. But yeah, coming along quite nicely. Yeah. So there we have it. It's coming together. Here we go, this is the driver's side, Firewall. There's a bit of rust in the hole here, of course. This is all rusted through here and here. You can see the holes in it. So just made myself a piece to go in there like this. So that'll go basically taking that place on that side valance there. So I was about to start cutting it out. I thought I'd better do some filming before we start so it looks like nice, you know. Always cut the holes smaller than you need, then you can always trim it to where you need it. So beats just putting a patch over, I think, you know. Nicely moulded up piece here, welded, folded. Bit of an update on the patch I've just made for the inner valance firewall for the 65. Yeah, sitting in there now. It's got a magnet behind it, of course. What I'm going to do now is drill a few holes to plug weld. So that was originally spot welded down through here. I just cut that piece of rusty metal out of there. Take my magnet out, of course. Yeah, so what I'll do, I'll give this a bit of a clean up now. Yeah, a bit of a clean down through here. And then I might weld that in. And I'll get some more footage and see what it looks like from there. I've just managed to just tack that patch in place now, and like I was saying before, I put a few plug holes there so we can actually plug weld it back. It has like it was spot welded previously along this bit here. We'll stitch that, and then it's better than putting a patch over. Putting a patch in is much better, I think. So yeah, so what I'll do, I'll just completely seam weld that and then grind it. Even though it's inside the guard, it's still going to be a very neat job. And then under the bonnet, it'll be much cleaner as well. It'll still have its lines. So yeah. So there's the patch on the inner guard for the left-hand side of the left-hand drive 65. Now this is the shocker tower repairs we did earlier, blanket. You can buy those plates. Now what I'm doing now is I'm putting the holes so when we plug weld it back onto the chassis. This one's not drilled or anything like that, I'll just remind us with the chalk there. Using, it's just basically a spot weld drill bit. It came in the kit with the other thing I had. So just basically that's it, simple as that. So then I'll put another one up further. Yeah, so what I'll do now is then I'll plug weld those. That'll be done then, so yeah, just doing a little bit more work on that patch in the firewall, not the firewall, but the valance I suppose, yeah, firewall, engine bay firewall there. Yeah, no, getting there. Now this is looking underneath the car on the left hand side. Just reground all this area through here now after we've double stitched it. One stitch was back here, one stitch was here. Round to the firewall. Down through the floor pan here. I went over and reground a few of these points here, which we've already actually had some zinc primer on there, but we've just cleaned up a bit more. Got into a few more places, need a little bit more repair, a couple of these things here. But while I was at it, grinding away, there's always places to fix up. That's that floor pan in there, so yeah, it's getting there slowly. That's the inside of the firewall. That patch I put in from the other side there. Other than that, it's looking alright. Fixed up around the on the right hand side, up around here. On the other side we did originally. I just reground all that again to make sure it was all good. I did a couple of repairs here. I've started off the sill panel, or the rocker panel as some people would call it. Yeah, so this side will all be covered in with some sort of deadener on that. But yeah, coming along quite nicely. That's that patch I put in on the valance, left hand side, driver's side. Got to clean up a little bit more on the other side of that. Still a little bit of grinding there. Haven't done any grinding on the inside yet. Inside floor pan, driver's side, as you can see, stitched and stitched. Once again, these are the spots we put in to hold it in place. You weld a little bit and then you move somewhere else so you don't get no warping. Then we'll grind all this, or buff this up here and grind it all. And then we'll coat it with some kill rust, or some rust inhibitor, or converter. And change it over, so then we'll put it all black again like we did the other side. Paint this, paint the inner of the seat, put it back together, put it all back here this way. But yeah, the front floor pan, left hand side, went in alright. Not as easy as the passenger side in this case, which was the right hand side. That went in probably a lot easier. This one had a little bit of work to it. All these holes here, the drain hole plugs or whatever, they all lined up, which is what we wanted. Yeah. Yep, got to be happy with that, I think. Here we are looking at the floor pans. What I've done, I've just gone through and reground a few things after putting a spray primer on it. Didn't look that well, so here I am just going back through. These are actually plug welds from the seat above. So what I'm doing now is I've actually gone back and given them another ground again, just to make it look nice and aesthetic from below. Still got cracks to do. There's a little bit of a hole there from something. But yeah, just working up around the firewall this morning as well. Regrinding the firewall here. A couple of little holes to fix up in this place here. But other than that, that's the penetration weld that came through from the other side there, just up in here. And that's the actual weld down here. So just once again cleaned up here, doing a bit more clean up. I need a bit more welding to do in here, a few little places like that. And then I'll just give it another bit. Even though it'll be all covered with schutz, we still want it to be a good job. And that was the inside the valance area, the engine bay. A little bit more weld in there to fix that up, maybe bring it up to level. Yeah, so it's just moving along slowly. Got to do a few spot welds down there where the floor pan met the side part, the rocker walls or the sill panels. Just cleaned up here. These are all plug welded here. Same with up under the other side. Yeah. I've cut out that part that needs to be replaced. So I have to bend up a nice piece there, has a nice radius. But looking inside, you probably can't see inside there, but it's good, it's strong. Very surprising once again. Yeah, so moving along. The old seat pan, got to have that flat again and then paint it. We're going to do some rust converter on it, both there and also on the inside of the car. We'll rust convert it and paint it black because you won't be able to get in between the seat and the floor pan later on to paint. which is what I did on the other side. On this side here I did the same before I actually put that back in. Yeah, so I'll go through and regrind a few of these plugs as well. I put some primer over it so it wouldn't rust, you know, in between working on it. So, but once again, nice and strong. Yeah. This is that part of the rocker panel, or sill panels, whatever you want to call it, where I actually cut it out. That piece out of there was rusted. I just made up a bit of a section there, nicely rolled. If you look that way, it's nicely rolled to suit the profile of that rocker. Oh, in behind, of course, neutralised it with some rust inhibitor, neutraliser, and then gave it a good coat of zinc coating. And then all I'll do then is work on the top part of it next. I've got to sort of make it. Got to work on that top part next, up under there. But I'll make a nice piece of that as well to meet that. Yeah. This wasn't my patch, remember? This was on there before. Alright, this is it. Looking at the right hand side rocker panel, or sill panel, which we like to call them here. What it is, I've just tacked a patch in there. Nice and strong, handmade, nicely rolled in place. Did a bit of a rust repair at the top here as well. Up in here there was a bit of a rust patch. It certainly looks better than the old other piece that come out of it. It's just a bit holey, I suppose. But yeah, so that piece there is taken out. And that piece put in. So it looks very nice. Now just a matter of stitching it all back up and seaming it. And once it's seamed, be nice and sealed. We've still got the drain holes back in here, which once I had all this panel out, I inside it, rust converter, and then primed it all as far back as I could get into it. So yeah, yeah, it's just another repair on the 65 fastback. And here we are looking at the right hand side sill panel, or rocker panel as you'd call it, where I took that piece of rust out that was all rusted down through here and across here. You know, seam welded it up after I spotted it. You'll see in the prior video. You can just see some spot welds where that whole rocker panel being held on, you know. Yeah, nice job. So yeah, pretty good, well done. So including that small repair was back in here. I welded the plate there. Still got your drainage hole, which is what you need. Yeah, so quite nicely formed. Yeah, all welded down through here, of course. Very nice. Just giving a coat of primer there, just to stop a bit of the old rust forming on there. So you can see the little pinholes there now. So that's how they'll fill up. Yeah, looking very nice. Yeah, this is not my repair, remember, not my repair. I'm almost tempted to take that off and have a look behind it, but that's just been seam sealed. So this was originally just spot welded, so I seam sealed it and just gave it a bit of primer. So yeah, it's behind the guard, but I don't know, I'm still, maybe I might take it off and have a look at it, who knows. See how I go. There's no rush in this car, of course, so yeah. Very nice.